going into it. So we'll see how these two teams do. Game 1 will be on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Haven't had a chance to cast that one yet. And Game 2 will take us back to Dragonshire.
No Infernal Shrines? What is
No
this?
Infernal Shrines. What's going on here? Alright, so we will load up this game and we will go back to not knowing what happened in the draft. I forget which one of these sets it was, but one of these guys said that one of these games was absolutely crazy. It very easily could have been that Battlefield of Eternity game because that game was pretty crazy. Alright, so we have Team Awesomesauce, ETC Blaze, Vala, Phoenix, Morales, standard, pretty straightforward. Another Vala, you don't really see her outside of BOE. She still does a ton of damage. Her problem is really just how squishy she is. On the flip side, we have a Diablo, Ragnaros, Stukov, Gul'dan, and who did I miss? Do it. And a Greymane. So pretty straightforward. Blue team here, Team Awesomesauce, has Funk Panda on Vala, Geo on Lieutenant Morales, Akash on Phoenix, Prudentia 69 on ETC, and the Holy Grail on Blaze.
On the right side, we see Nima on Gul'dan, BNet player on Diablo, Mac on Stukov, Limion on Greymane, and Timeriu on Ragnaros.
So both sides very standard with your tank, bruiser, double assassin support. No cleanse on the Stukov, though. That could be a little rough with all the CC. I will say, though, I hate playing ETC into Stukov. It's really difficult to do so, so that will be interesting. Isolated out as the Diablo. He does use his Shadow Charge to disengage and gets away with his life. It was a nice zoning AoE silence there coming out of Mac on I'm sorry, Mac on the Stukov. So a Blaze Ragnaros matchup in the solo lane probably favors the Blaze.
They both do have self-healing, but Blaze is a lot more reliable.
Yeah, and I think
presence, Ragnaros is going to have trouble getting stacks on this Q quest.
For sure. In the 4-man, though, probably a slight advantage with the Gul'dan. Anytime you have a Gul'dan in the 4-man, he crushes these lanes really fast.
Amazing wave clear.
An aggressive
going on with Diablo. Not much comes out of it. They trade damage pretty evenly.
Now, normally, when I play Diablo, I almost universally take Spell Armor at 7 because it's just that good. However, it looks like Vala might be going into more of an AA build instead of her Q build.
Yeah. Pursuit, maybe,
yeah, so I might consider Diabolical Momentum instead, maybe, with such a high percentage of auto attack damage with the Phoenix and the Vala.
Greymane gets away on low health after being pulled into the enemy team.
I think Tomb of the Spider Queen, in my opinion, is probably the most snowbally of the maps because once you get control of the map, it's really hard to force a turn in, and you get really a little bit what's the word I'm looking for? You get a little conservative. You don't want to risk all of those gems that you've been piling up the whole game. So if you can get an early game lead on Tomb, it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Level 4 being picked up almost simultaneously by both teams. Looks like Greymane is also going into a full auto attack build.
Which, yeah, the cocktail build definitely fallen out of favor. It's just so hard to finish his stacks with the decreased size of the Gilnean cocktail.
Diablo diving on the ETC, flipping him over. ETC still has the power slide. He goes into the Gul'dan, trying to follow up with damage.
Yeah, the Stukov really
Seems
zoning
so
away
well
the
he wasn't just
backline
enough.
there. Yeah, the Stukov silence really zoned away the backline damage dealers from the side of Team Awesomesauce and let Gul'dan walk out of trouble there. Let's go poke in on the bottom lane. As expected, Blaze is winning it. You know, solidly, not any domination by any stretch of the means, but he is definitely winning the lane.
Rank only has 8 stacks on his Q quest, so he's only having to grab minions very sparingly because he can't get in onto them without Blaze punishing him for it. Yeah, right there, the charge pulled him away from that one minion on low health.
Now, although the side's pretty close in experience and the gem advantage is sizably over to Team Awesomesauce here. They are actually 1 gem away from having turn-in, while Team Mapitas is about 14, 15 gems away. So you're going to see the members of Team Awesomesauce here do what Phoenix just almost did, which is, you know, you have, in these rotations, you kind of have one hero hang back out of sight, and other threes show, and you try to sneak them in on the backside of these rotations. An aggressive engage on Davala. Diablo might be in trouble. If Diablo goes down, that's 33 gems possibly lost. That would be a really big deal.
The DC did get away. I didn't see him use Power Slide. I don't know if it was off cooldown.
I think he got caught in a silence is why he didn't use it.
That can also do it. The face melt healing pretty well for his team.
Yeah, in my opinion, as a tank player, that's one of the #1 reasons I like Diablo, or I'm sorry, I like ETC, is he is probably the easiest, most effective tank to peel with. Once you get that range increase on your W at 4, it's just such an effective peeling hero.
It seems like Team Mapitas is just having a real hard time finding a way onto their team just because of that ETC pressure. But ETC goes down in the silence pool, dropping 38 gems.
Now, it looks like most of those got picked up by Akash on the Phoenix, so Johnny on the spot there. Both sides, though, have enough for turn-in, and I expect to see Team Mapitas get the turn-in right here with ETC down.
Yeah. It's like the majority of the rest of their gems are actually on the Ragnaros, so they are going to have to zone them out. Phoenix barely manages to get away after being stood against the wall. It's a clean disengage for Team Awesomesauce. Ragnaros gets his turn in, and first Wed Weavers of the game go to Team Mapitas.
Yeah, the support player for the side of Team Awesomesauce here, Geo, is going to have a really hard time dealing with the spread damage from the Gul'dan as a single target healer out of the Morales. And I think you've seen that happen a couple times where just somebody gets chunked out and he's having a hard time dealing with it. Now, ETC did not take the range increase on his W at 4. I am very curious to see what he did. When you watch me that's very interesting. I don't comment.
Very unusual talent.
Yeah, I don't comment on talent builds too much when I cast. I used to do it more. The main reason I don't is kind of at this point in the game's life cycle, there's what, almost 80 heroes, and I don't know enough of them to comment intelligently on a wide variety of them. ETC is not that guy. I will comment on the ETC build. ETC is my bae. Echo Pedal has also fallen out of favor too, especially on a small map. Echo Pedal is what you pick if you're planning on going stage dive on a larger map. I have found to favor Pinball Wizard at 7. It gives him a surprising amount of burst. And with a Diablo and a Stukov and a Greymane, I would have really liked to have seen the increased size of the face melt here. What's going to really determine whether he's going to get value out of it, I mean, he'd used the crowd surfer there, but he could have just gone around. I want to see him use that crowd surfer in situations that catch Team Mapitas off guard. If he's not getting value out of it, he would have 100% gotten value out of the increased size, and then it would have been a mistake pick if you're not going to get value out of crowd surfer.
Team Mapitas has picked, both teams now have level 10, but Team Mapitas picked it up a little bit earlier. We do see Cursed Bullet, Horrify, Massive Shove, and Sulfurious Smash. Diablo hasn't picked yet.
I would
see Stim.
No.
And he does lock in the APOC. And then Stim Drone, Bunker, Strafe, Mosh Pit, and Purification Salvo on the other side.
And they do pick off the Ragnaros in the bottom lane. Nice rotation coming out of Team Awesomesauce there. Not only do they pick off the Ragnaros, but they actually get the turn-in as well. So things looking good in this portion of the game here for Team Awesomesauce. Mapitas needs to be careful on this rotation here. Diablo might be a little far out. He does saunter away in time. I would really like to see them leaving Blaze kind of in an off lane here to get 2 lanes worth of soak out of this, and the 4-man into prioritizing the boss lane. They seem kind of indecisive, not getting a lot of value out of the siege. Although Greymane, if there's the 1-man mosh pit, I absolutely love that play out of ETC. So many tank players try to hit the huge mosh pit. If you can get a mosh pit and get a kill out of it every time, you are 100% getting value out of it. Then he goes on to the Stukov, the aggressive teleport out of the Akash there, and they get 2 kills. Nice plays out of Prudentius here, and Akash following up on his tank player.
Yeah, they know they can be aggressive now because they took out their primary single target damage and their support in that play.
And you know, let's go back to that solo mosh pit. Speaking specifically for this game, Horrify, Massive Shove, and APOC. Greymane may be caught out again. Sulfurous Smash does go down, as does the Horrify. Greymane gets away barely, and it looks
down to 19 health there.
That's very close. But with all the interrupts coming out available for the side of Team Mapitas, all the more reason. If you can get value out of a 1 or 2-man mosh pit, just rip that thing. And going to be back-to-back turn-ins coming out on the side of Team Awesomesauce here. This is the turn-in you want to see value. Theoretically, these forts have been softened up. The front walls have been softened up. This is the turn-in phase that you want to get value out of these web weavers.
Yeah. Now that they have these back-to-back turns, they definitely have a lot of pressure in this top lane. In the bot lane, the web weaver is going almost straight up to the keep wall.
And I wonder why Rag isn't up here to have Molten Core available for this defense. Now he's coming up. Yeah, that's you see the ping is coming out from Mapitas. I think that's what it is. They're saying, come up here, use that thing. Now, he doesn't need to use it here. This is a free defense because Awesomesauce is rotated away. This mid lane is where you're going to use it if you're going to use it. And you want to make sure you use it as far to the right as you can. There we go. Blaze just misses the stun. A little bit of anti-synergy, though. The Horrify does chase everyone away. I think they are going to barely save this fort. And no, it was already dead. So
it went down just before the Molten Core could come out.
And a great macro here by the side of Team Awesomesauce. They know that Mapitas has to rotate to the bottom to clear out the lane, and they're going to take this fort for free. 100% no defense available for the side of Mapitas.
So that's all 3 forts down on the side of Mapitas. It looks like they're going to try to catch them out in the rotation down to the objective.
3-man power slide, 4-man mosh pit. It is interrupted by APOC, and ETC gets absolutely obliterated. Diablo there with an excellent APOC. Fortunately, he was the only member not caught in that mosh pit. Otherwise, that would have been disaster for Mapitas. All of the cooldowns go down for Team Awesomesauce here. And let's see what Mapitas does with this. Only a 1-man advantage. They seem a little indecisive. I want to see them at least drop off their gems, because they can do that for free even if they don't have a turn-in. And we have Stim Drone out of Morales, too. I'm waiting to see the Stim Drone Vala, because that's clearly going to be the target.
ETC is back up now, but the old-timers are still in favor of Team Mapitas. Right now, they only have Bunker and Stim Drone and almost Strafe on the side of Awesomesauce.
Both teams very close in level here. Almost identical, actually. I mean, it's as close as can be. I do like what Mapitas is doing, and they are playing with the vision definitely a lot more than Team Awesomesauce is. rotating down, focusing on that 16. I think you're going to see both sides just kind of posture around the map, unless somebody catches somebody else out. There's a power slide on the ETC onto Diablo. He eats Cursed Bullet. Aggressive play by Awesomesauce. A huge Horrify catches the entire front line out, and Phoenix, with nowhere to go in that silence, gets destroyed. ETC able to power slide to safety. Maybe I've missed it, but I have not seen... Oh my goodness, excellent! That was a great play by Diablo. The APOC into the double combo picks up the Blaze. This is a boss play here, if you're the side of Mapitas, since... actually, you could boss turn right here.
Awesome turning right here. Like, even despite that double turn from Team Awesomesauce, Team Mapitas has been turning it around very nicely. Like, Diablo's made some amazing plays so far.
Yeah, and I still have yet to see any value out of Crowd Surfer, unless I missed something, Ash. Have you seen him get any value out of that Crowd Surfer talent at 4?
Not that I've seen.
So, I mean, that's... I don't like picking on players, but I think that's a pretty big deal. You have a lot of aggressive heroes on the side of Mapitas, and that increased on the disengage rage on your W, I think probably would have gotten more value at this point than the Crowd Surfer. And not just the increased range for the peeling, but if you do catch somebody out of position and isolate them out, they're even further isolated from their teams. And there's the boss turn-in. Nice play there by Mapitas.
It's really rough to give up that much value if you're not going to use Crowd Surfer.
Right. And, you know, I'll tell you, part of the reason I don't pick it is because I do pick it from time to time. When I pick it is when there's a Stitches Gorge or like a Garrosh Toss where I can power slide through the enemy structures back to safely if I get caught out. That's really when I pick it. But otherwise, it's just so few often picked, you almost forget you have it to not get value out of it. Not a lot of value out of that Purification Salvo either.
Yeah, perhaps the ETC is worried about Diablo flipping over a wall, but that's... I don't know. It seems like it'd be a lot easier to just avoid.
Yeah, I concur.
Bait it out.
Big time Horrify. ETC eats a massive shove, part of a Sulphurous Smash, and a Cursed Bullet, and still almost and does get away. I am shocked that both Vala and ETC were able to get away to safety. However, Top Keep does fall. And they're looking core. It's melting fast. Team Awesomesauce needs to do something here quick. Because
the Syndrome coming out on the Vala. Vala is burning this Diablo down. APOC comes out, doesn't do much except stun Blaze. ETC goes down to the Ragnaros, and that's a strong defense for the core.
Gul'dan is going to go down here with the slow on the oil spill here. He is in a world of trouble. No doubt Gul'dan going down. However, about 35% taken off the core, and Webweaver still pushing mid. Team Awesomesauce needs to go back. Oh no, cleared itself out. However, a significant structural advantage for the side of Team Mapitas. And you know what? I lied. Mid keep did go down. They didn't retreat fast enough, and that's a big deal. 2 keeps down is going to force Team Awesomesauce to be in a defensive position most of the rest of this game.
Yeah, and they're still 20 gems away from a turn-in, so it's going to take them a little bit to get that map advantage back.
Yeah, so Mapitas did overstay their welcome. However, with the map, the condition that it was in, it really didn't hurt that much because there isn't a lot on the map for Team Awesomesauce to take advantage of. They're posturing to invade here, but ETC is pretty far behind. Both teams now 5-on-5. Are they trying to catch somebody? And they are. Blaze goes in hard, doesn't catch anybody with the jet propulsion. However, the slow on the Ragnaros might be enough to get him, and it will be. Mosh Pit isn't able to hit anybody there. They do pick up the Ragnaros though, and that's a big deal. The death timer is now about a full minute.
Purification Salvo was actually interrupted by Horrify, so they're still going to have it in the next fight.
Team Awesomesauce rotating around, picking up the Giants here. They're only 9 gems away, so those top 2 waves are going to bring them pretty close. Actually, the top 2 waves in the top, 2 waves in the mid will give them turn-in for Team Awesomesauce. In the meantime, they're doing a little damage control and trying to unpressure these lanes. The problem that they're going to have with turn-in now are these lanes are pushed so far back. Really, bottom lane is really the only place they're going to be able to get decent value out of the Web Weavers unless they really win a team fight big.
Yeah. And doesn't look like anybody's going to clean up top lane. There are 3 catapults in this next wave coming straight onto the core, so they're going to have to send someone back or they're giving up a lot of core health.
Yeah, and that this late in the game, those catapults absolutely chunk. Watch those shields. They are absolutely melting. If I'm Team Mapitas, I want to find them and keep them from hearthing right now if you can. So they'd get 57 gems turned in and rotate back in time to do a little maintenance. No damage done to the core. However, they know Phoenix is back. Mapitas has to be looking for an engage here. That's their move because they are not anywhere close to turning.
And their 3 remaining gems were split between 2 people, so it is going to be risky for them trying to get this
Blaze eats Cursed Bullet and will heal right back up, so not much to talk about there. They are letting Team Awesomesauce getting this turned in for free. No contest. I'm very surprised. Horrify goes out, but it's not going to matter there. Did Horrify go out there? The timer doesn't show. That was
I feel
weird.
like I heard it.
I heard it too, but that was really weird.
Perhaps it was interrupted by something.
Maybe. So one of these teams is pinging mid. I like the choice to clean up the katas. The katas, look at how much damage the katas did to the mid web weaver here. Great bush party here. I don't think Rag is in there though, is he? He looks like he's sticking out.
He is. He has the
He does have it? Okay. A little optical illusion there. Big bush party coming out here by Team Mapitas. Team Awesomesauce needs to be careful. 5-on-5. Wait for the big Horrify. There's the APOC. There's the isolation out onto the ETC. Horrify prevents any response. However, Death Metal catches 4. I want to see Purifier Salvo. There it is. And they trade Diablo for ETC.
Dan down. Greymane may be next. Not quite.
However, Molten Core is popped.
This is heroic difficulty, Molten Cores.
So the Bush party gets turned around with a 4-man death metal. 2 members for Mapitas go down, Gul'dan and Diablo. ETC goes down for the side. And they want to push in this here. I don't know why they're not trying to get this bottom keep. They need to even out some of this pressure. They're, making for the boss call. Wow. I don't know if it's a bad call necessarily, and with Vala and Phoenix, they will burn this thing really fast.
Yeah, they're using Stim Drone for it. They do have the Stim Drone upgrade, so it's only a 45-second cooldown.
They are 100%
definitely worth using on this.
Yeah, 100% going to get boss, and this is a win condition. Actually, maybe eat my words. This could be a great call. ETC is up here. You have to be thinking win condition if you're Team Awesomesauce. 5-man push with the boss at Mini 21. You want to win here.
They seem a little indecisive. They may be worried about mid lane pushing in.
I mean, at this point, yeah.
If they push this boss onto the core, they could outrace those catapults.
Yeah, for sure. And I think Molten Core is probably still on cooldown after its use mid lane. Massive.
It just came off cooldown.
And there it is. Blaze in a world of trouble. Diablo absolutely chunks him with the percentage damage on the Q. However, a 2-man mosh pit on the side. There goes Purification Salvo. ETC goes down. And there's the 4-man death metal. Wow. Death metal value this game. I'm not sure what's going to happen here.
The Sulfuric Smash was thrown onto Vala instead of being used to interrupt the mosh pit. And Morales goes down to the mid keep, walking just a little bit too far out.
I guess they're going to try to race core. Boss still alive, and Vala Phoenix is a lot of damage. 22 minutes into the game. I think they should have all-in'd on it myself. I think the call there should have been all-in on the core. Phoenix does get Stukov. They get the Phoenix. Vala coming back. Wow, what a weird game. With the keeps down and the pressure mid, I would have liked to have seen Vala and Phoenix try to finish that off.
Yeah, with their mobility, they could have avoided a lot of damage going into that. But they chose to take the safer route and just go back, and now the cores are within 5% health of each other, 39 and 44.
And top lane is now neutralized for both teams, so it's mid lane that is the difference. I mean, that's the only time I've seen Crowd Surfer is used to come in on these nights.
Maybe it's just a comfort thing for the player.
Yeah, you know, maybe. But I just haven't seen it used is the main thing. There's the red turn-in. This is trouble here for Team Awesomesauce. And for either side, with the cores this low, a fight on core is almost game. So both teams posturing here at the mid. This isn't bad for Team Awesomesauce because they will be fighting under the spell armor. ETC eats the Cursed Bullet. The Silence AoE went out for a second. You can see the Blunderbuss splash is doing work.
Yeah. Yeah, fighting in that mid lane with those Bruisers was nice. They were able to clear that nicely. The bot lane Waver is not going to get a ton of value, as it does have to push a little bit forward as well. But in top lane, both sides have catapults. So a fight here could end.
Mosh Pit gets nobody, and he gets exploded for his troubles. Once again, Death Metal, though, catching 2. I have never seen Death Metal get so much value out of in a game before. The whole front line for Team Awesomesauce goes down. ETC and Blaze both killed. Greymane goes down from Mapitas. Time and time again, that Death Metal is catching multiple members of Team Mapitas.
They are probably looking to just push onto core here.
This has to be game. There's 3 Katas in the top lane. There's
no front line for the side of Team Awesomesauce.
Yeah, this has to be game.
Strafe does come out, putting a ton of damage on Diablo, but the Hellgate gets him away from it. Gul'dan goes down to the Phoenix, but it's too late. And Team Mapitas takes game 1.
That was a wild, wild game, man. Team Mapitas gets a very back and forth game 1. I really think Phoenix and Vala could have come close or really close to finishing off the core there at the end. 2 super high volume damage dealers with the core that low, 23 minutes-ish into the game. It would have been really tight.
Yeah, it would have been, which may have been why they decided to back out. Like, if they don't make it, then
they 100% lose. 100%, yeah. So I can see the flip side of it.
Committing to that was the end of the game, one way or the other. Perhaps they just wanted to stall it out and take a safer engage onto the core.
Although, look at Vala's damn man. Funk Panda on Vala, 7 kills, no deaths into a Rag Diablo, 94,000 hero damage, 93,000 siege damage. That's really impressive. And 234 siege damage out of the Phoenix. Holy cow.
Yeah. Like, even without the face melt range increase, ETC was doing a really good job of zoning out the enemy team. Greymane was having a hard time getting onto the back line, and when he was able to, nobody else could go in there with him.
Yeah,
he was alone.
100%. And I don't want to harp on that talent pick because I don't think, in isolation, I don't think it was a bad pick, but I never saw him use it to get value out of it was the thing. So Team 1 goes to Team Mapitas, or Game 1 I should say, goes to Team Mapitas. Game 2 will be on Dragonshire. I need to fix my 1. I thought I fixed it already because it's been backwards lately. So let's fix that. There we go. And let's take a look at our comps without seeing the drafts one more time. So Team Awesomesauce trying to pick up their 4th win of the season. I'm sorry, a Team Mapitas trying to pick up only their 2nd domination of the season, and Team Awesomesauce trying to avoid their 2nd. That was a really close game, though. You could tell the competitiveness of both teams was pretty close.
There were a lot of good plays on both sides. It really just ultimately ended up that Mapitas was able to outplay their opponents. Like, it was a really good skill matchup.
Yeah, it was. It really was. We see a Wild Chen appearing. So I assume...
This game is definitely going to be interesting.
I assume the Chen's going to be in the solo. That's my guess. for the side of Team Awesomesauce, Funk Panda with quite a role swap here, going from Vala to Chen. So Funk Panda will be on the Chen this game, Akash on Greymane, the Holy Grail on Jaina, Prudentius on Diablo as the teams have switched tanks, ETC on the other side, and Geo once again on Lieutenant Morales.
On the right side, we have Team Mapitas, Beanut player on the ETC, Nima on Tyrael, Mac on Hanzo, Holy Mion on the Malthael, and Timeriu on the Lucio.
So definitely a big change in comp style from this here, with a Malthael and a Chen appearing, the two teams swapping main tanks here. I don't know that I have seen a Chen Malthael solo lane matchup. I assume, like most melee heroes, Malthael probably wins that.
Yeah, especially with the percentage damage. And Chen did not take, shoot, what is it called? The auto attack evade talent.
You think with
instead
a great...
instead of taking the freshest ingredients for health regen.
I don't know Chen's talents very well as well. I mean, when he finishes that talent, he'll definitely get value out of that, but probably early game not going to be quite as strong.
The talent was buffed, so it no longer has a cap, but even then, it's not usually picked very often.
Well, and in this solo lane too, he's going to be hard pressed to finish that globe quest in a timely manner unless he bullies Malthael off the globes. When you're globing, typically you want to be in the 4-man if you can help it.
Of course, bullying Malthael is not something it's very easy to do.
No, not at all.
When he's healing off of a large health pool.
Yeah, and I mean, you can see it already in the health bars. Malthael is winning that lane. There are no two ways about it. The invade from Diablo about 2 seconds too late, as both sides do pick up their giants. Yeah, this early game is going to be a hard. On Dragonshire in particular, if you have a solid matchup in the solo lane, it really alleviates a lot of the pressure from the rest of your team and puts the onus on the other side to respond. Funk Panda here trying to drink through the pain. And, well, you can see how he's going to try to play it. He's going to do damage and then shield himself. And Malthael is slowly wearing down here, actually. Nice jog by Funk Panda. He is just literally drinking through the pain and 100% bullied Malthael off the point. So maybe...
That's really interesting.
That is really interesting. Maybe in the lane, the Malthael is going to have the advantage, but if he tries to trade with Chen on the point, he will be unsuccessful. This is 100%...
He's not going to have the he's not going to have the minions to heal off of, and then Chen's just going to be able to sit there and not take damage.
So they did send Tyrael up here to reinforce. I imagine Funk Panda now will of course withdraw now that he's a 2-for-1. So that's interesting. This is definitely the first time I've seen a Chen Malthael matchup, so I'm curious to see how it plays out. Stun flip onto Mac on the Hanzo, who just flops away there.
So Greymane and Morales are easily going to take this bruiser camp by themselves. Giving him a lot of pressure this early in the bot lane.
Yeah, I keep popping up to that top lane, and I think that's how it's going to play out. In the minion waves, in the lane, Malthael with the advantage, and the second they step up onto that point, it's going to be Chen's battle to win. And if you look up here now, you can tell Malthael's not going up there to contest him anymore. He probably has realized that. Yep, that's how that matchup's going to go. However, they are losing Soak by holding that point.